So today was unexpected. Today was a very uh, today we were supposed to do Bufo Alvarius, which is the DMT from the toad secretion. I will say that it was the deciding factor of actually coming to Arcana versus Rhythmia. I really just wanted to have the experience of DMT, that God molecule, of being separated from the human experience and just seeing truly the essence of what it's all about. And to see people's experience coming out of it, I was so excited. I was so excited that I was looking for memes and things online to actually explain what it is, because I was just so ready to share this experience that I was about to have. Like, this is gonna be so dope. I just want to share this. Like, this is gonna be so dope. And when I went in there, I was excited. I was watching them, burn it. And, when I was trying to inhale it, I was struggling, but I got it in there. But I was like, man, my lungs are kind of restricted. I lay down, nothing happened. As I was laying there and nothing was happening, all the emotions of were coming to me like, something's wrong. Did I do something wrong? I didn't do something right. 5 minutes go by, still nothing. I'm hearing everybody's experience. And I talked to the facilitator and I said, man, I'm not feeling anything. And he says, well, you want to do it again? I'm like, yeah. And he warns me that usually if it doesn't take the first time, it doesn't take the second time. Which makes sense because it goes back to what's meant to be is meant to be. I mean, we're taking plant medicine here. I mean, honey, shaman said today, sometimes the medicine wants to work with you and sometimes it doesn't. And that was the first time I heard it, but when he said it today, I was like, damn, what if medicine doesn't really want to work? Maybe that's what happened Monday. And maybe, did it work Tuesday? That was just a thought. But as I was laying there and I got back up to do a second round, Shihiro came in. It's a Japanese guy who's has had a lot of extensive trauma. And as I'm doing it the second time, like I'm inhaling, I'm getting it in my lungs, and I can feel it. Like, okay, I feel it coming in. I'm like, okay, I feel it. It's gonna happen. Then all of a sudden, he just starts screaming and hollering. I mean, like a tortured soul. Like he's screaming and hollering. I'm trying to focus, and I can't. All I can hear is this screaming and hollering. That's all I can hear. And I'm like, let it take hold, breathe, take it. Nothing. Snap right out of it. Looking at the ceiling, crushed. Because I'm not going to have this experience. Everybody's having this experience, and I'm not going to have this experience. I came this way to have this experience, and I'm not going to have this experience. I just had all this flood of emotions, like disappointment. Something's wrong with me. I did something wrong. This guy, he snapped me out of it, and I'm thinking to myself, no, it's not meant to be. And then I'm like, but why? Why is it not meant to be? And I sit up, and I could tell the facilitator's just looking, and hands me some water, and I'm just trying to fight back the tears because I'm just so disappointed. I'm so crushed at this point. And he looks at me. When I look at him, I just start crying because he asked me how I felt, and I was just like disappointed. And I'm looking out the window, and this cardinal stays sitting on these limbs right here. And he's talking to me, and he's like, I know you're disappointed, but you got to trust the process. That even though you're not feeling the medicine is working. Man, and I want to believe it. But man, you know how it feels when you're crushed. All you can feel is that. And it's like, even if you don't, it's working. And as somebody that's been disappointed, I understand. But just trust the process. And God knows I've said that to myself and to other people, and I truly believe it. But in that moment, I started doubting everything. I was like, is this even real? Has this all been in my head? What is wrong with me? Why am I always left out? Why am I always the odd one out? Why do I always just feel so goddamn different in every situation? And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I'm not even like it's not fair. I'm just like, but what is it? You know, why do I keep having this happen over and over again? And then I think about the horror of facing the group and then like, how is it? And I can't even look people in the eye because I'm just so disappointed that I can't even have this experience. I just wanna go in my room and I just wanna just cry. And that's what I did. And when I got up here, man, I started doubting everything. Like, why am I here? I spent all this money. My mom then paid for my house taxes so I could bring my ass out here. And then I'm spending all this money on things and all these wonderful experiences. And is it even fucking real? I gotta go back home to bills. I gotta go back and work. I gotta go back, and this is even fucking real. And what am I gonna tell my parents? What am I gonna tell my family? How was it? Oh, it didn't work. Oh, I knew it wasn't gonna work. I knew it wasn't gonna work. See, he's not of God and all this. Now, all that shit is flooding me. I'm even questioning my experience Tuesday. I'm like, was that even real or was that in my head? Was that real or was that in my head? I just paid $500 for this shaman blanket that I'm a frame, and I'm looking at it like, did I just dupe myself? Like, I'm about to go home. I don't know what my situation's gonna look like. I don't know what's gonna happen. I got this car to take her. I'm like, all that shit is just coming up, man. It's coming up, man. And when I tell you, there is nothing more overwhelming than an active mind after you've been disappointed. And it's just ego. I couldn't even face people. I just went in, got some food. Michael was like, well, how was it? And I'm like, it didn't take. He was like, you didn't get anything? And I was like, nope, nothing. Then he didn't say anything. I was like, wow, thanks, brother. Like, it was just almost like, damn. Almost for me, and my ego is reaffirming that I'm going to always be different. I'm always going to be outcast. I come back and I eat and I hear Chloe on the phone talking to her people outside. Because, honey, clearly it was not meant for her to have a conversation inside like the rest of us. She had to have it right here. And I'm just crying as I'm eating because I'm like, damn, I can't even have this experience. But I'm surrounded by people who have this experience, and I don't want to be no dark cloud on anybody's experience. I'm in here and I'm struggling. I'm literally questioning everything. Everything. And man, I tell you, I don't question stuff. Like, I'm questioning Abraham. I'm questioning everything. Like, even, is it even real? Like, that's how deep it is. I go back down because I wanted to journal. And I wanted to get on the internet because I wanted to find the email, right? Because I didn't even remember how much this was because it was like, refunded. I'm like, well, at least I get this refund. I can apply it to my bills. Like, I'm going right back into, I say ego mode, right? And then Samantha, Man, she's a freaking angel. We call her a hummingbird. White lady from Britain, the UK. And man, she is something else. She had just did the Amazon for 7 days, and then she did doing 7 days here. So of course, when I met her, she was already lighting up the room. I thought she was a facilitator. How much like light she was bringing, and she was inspiring us all, just telling us about her experience. And man, I'm not telling you, she is just a ball of energy. She's really wonderful. And she looks at me and she's like, "You want to talk?" And I shake my head. And she's like, "Well, did you have a bad experience?" And I'm like, "I didn't have an experience." She came over and hugged me, man. I felt like putty. But she just gave me so much encouraging words. And Tunde, who's a facilitator from Nigeria, came over. And they really hugged me and comforted me and said, "Hey, stop beating yourself up. This happens. You gotta trust the process." And their words were very comforting because I know that in my soul that I gotta trust the process. And I knew this was happening for a reason. I just did not understand. And the man is talking to me, and we're just talking and we're sharing. And we're talking about a lot of stuff. And she's just bringing up so many good points that's helping me work through this experience. And she's so empathetic and she's so understanding. And then we talk about, our egos and all this stuff. And we go back to like when we're children. And I always told her, I said, man, I was telling us, like, I just feel like I'm always the odd one out. It doesn't matter. It's like, even yesterday, and I was so tired yesterday. I was literally sick. Like, not sick, but my body had been through it. But I was gonna go to Machu Picchu, Again, I'm here. But I mean, I had to go through it physically. And people were just so energetic, and I just didn't have it. And I felt so outcast because I felt like I couldn't be what everybody was around me. And I forgave myself for that, but I still had that thought of just feeling like I was an outcast. And we were talking, and I was like, this made me feel like that all over again. Everybody's having this amazing experience, and I can't have this damn experience. I literally just can't. I'm not going to have this experience. I said it, here it is again. It goes back to everything. And I could be in the room with people and I can smile and talk, but it's like people just look over me or, for whatever reason don't like me or, man, I can't tell you how many times this shit keeps showing up in my life. And I thought, that's one reason I'm here. That's one reason I'm here is to heal that heart, heal whatever that is. We're talking, I told Amanda, I said, all my life when I was a little girl, my people poured into me. The ancestors that I had went through and purged all that pain. I didn't know they had that pain because they poured into me. They didn't pour none of that trauma into me. They ain't pour none of that shit into me. I was oblivious to the things that were actually happening as a child. I had no idea. Another reason why I didn't even understand how I was carrying this around, because my God, I was poured into. But when I got to kindergarten, everything changed for me. I never knew what fear, being different, anything was before I got to kindergarten. That's how much I was poured into. When I got to kindergarten, immediately outcast. And I'm not exaggerating when I say immediate. I actually mean on the fucking playground, completely outcast. Before that, I could make friends with any kid in a laundromat, in the projects, anywhere. Anywhere there was a kid, I was befriending them. I was taking them wherever the fuck I was, feeding them whatever. Because I realized now I was just pouring into them what was poured into me. But kindergarten, all that shit changed. I was immediately outcast. I was immediately tagged as different. I was immediately tagged as something wrong with her. You can't play with us. You're weird. Your hair's weird. You dress funny. You know, we don't do that. And because those were my peers pretty much all the way to fucking high school, I dealt with that all through school. And my coping mechanism was to be to myself, entertain myself, pour into my own hobbies. I didn't share with with others. And there was these times when they would have birthday parties, sleepovers. I was never invited. I even remember this time when me and Risha were together because, we cousins. So we always together. And we had to stop playing. She was going to spend the night. She ended up not spending the night because she got invited to a sleepover with her peers. And I did. Same crushing feeling that I felt today. Same crushing. Same. And I didn't say all that to Amanda, but I told her that. She said, well, God, it makes all sense now what this was. She said, she's getting you ready. Like, you've dealt with that rejection your whole life, and you've internalized it to where you really think something is wrong with you. I mean, that was the first thought that came to my mind when it wasn't working was, something's wrong. First thought in my mind when people can like a person that I'm cool with and not like me. Like, what the fuck? You know what Amanda said to me that I never even saw? She said, maybe when you ran into these people, and I'm not even just the kids, but I realized that they, because of the trauma they've dealt with, the lack of self-love that they suffer from, they could see how you radiate that in spite of it. When you were a kid, you were poured into. And that causes them not to outcast you. Same thing now. You know how I carry myself? Like a motherfucker who gonna do what the fuck she wanna do. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that I can't do it. Only person gonna stop me from doing some shit is me. Even today. Even today. So talking to her made me feel a lot better about this because I knew, one, it wasn't supposed to happen. But two, I wasn't supposed to have the experience with everybody else. I was supposed to not have the experience. And I was supposed to not give a damn. Because it wasn't my experience to have. Mother Ayahuasca was going to give me what I need, not what I want. In that moment, talking with Amanda, I realized that what's needed is to shed this ego of not good enough, not accepted. And as much as I've been telling myself and I've accepted that that's it, it came up today. While I'm here, while I'm having this experience, it literally showed up. Wasn't expecting that. So that moment that I didn't think it was real was at that moment I knew for sure this shit was real as hell. If I needed any confirmation that it was real, was this shit right here. That to know my own ego and my own perspective of self subconsciously truly feels like something's wrong with me. That I'm always going to be outcast. I'm always going to be odd one out. And because subconsciously I truly believe that, that's why I keep showing up. It keeps showing up. So when I think about my intention tonight, it's releasing that shit. Heal my heart, but heal this idea that I'm unworthy. Heal this perspective that I'm not good enough, because it's so deeply ingrained that it is showing up while I'm here trying to have the experience. That's how deeply ingrained it is. I can do the hypnosis and all that stuff, which is good. But there's going to be these things that's going to trigger this belief. And as long as this belief is here, it's going to show up like it did today. Or it's going to show up when I'm back in Atlanta and I'm DJing. It's going to show up when I'm dealing with this group of people and this group of people. I don't understand how something that didn't even come from my family, but maybe I was carrying it the whole time. Even though they was pouring it into me, the love, the actual feeling of not being worthy was realer than all of that. So anyway, I just wanted to journal that part because it's very key and instrumental in the day and in this process. Before I got here and way before I got here, I never questioned plant medicine or lost universe or anything. But today, that doubt seeped in, and man, that shit felt realer than real. Alright, I'm signing off. Got a last ceremony tonight. And I just want to pull myself together for this experience tonight.